Welcome to Mr. Fright Nights, where nightmares come to life. If you love bone-chilling, immersive horror stories that feel real, stories that linger long after the last word, then you're in the right place. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more terrifying tales. Now, dim the lights, put on your headphones, and prepare yourself. Tonight's horror begins now. I wake to a metallic click, an unfamiliar lock engaging somewhere in the house. There's no good reason for a lock to be doing anything at 3 a.m, especially not the kind that echoes like it's an inch from my ear. My eyes snap, open, and I'm immediately drenched in sweat. The entire bedroom is pitch black except for the flicker of the digital clock on the nightstand. I scramble out of bed. "Cole?" I mutter, stepping forward. The floor feels hot against my bare feet, like the AC shut down hours ago. Usually Cole's next to me, stirring from nightmares or draped across my side. But now his spot is empty, the sheets ice cold, my phone is dead, of course it is. I tuck it into my pajama pocket out of habit, though it won't do me any favors. I catch my reflection in the mirror on the closet door. My hair is plastered to my forehead, eyes dilated with confusion, and my tank top glued to my back. This is what I get for ignoring the weird noises, I mumble to myself, trying to muster some dark humor to keep me sane. Stepping into the hallway, I flick the light switch. Nothing. I pass through the living room. The windows are latched, tight, blinds drawn, and I'm greeted by total darkness. A single lamp near the couch is on, casting a dull orange glow. I feel my pulse hammering in my ears. Then I see it. Every door and window is secured from the inside, each handle locked with a new mechanism, like we're preparing for some doomsday scenario I never agreed to. Along the living room walls, small red lights blink in a steady rhythm. Cameras. They look brand new, installed at eye level, covering every angle. A chill races down my spine when a whisper crackles through the silent room. It's Cole's voice, muffled but present, drifting from nowhere. "Don't be afraid, Marianne. I did this for us." It takes everything in me not to scream. I spin, trying to pinpoint the source. The vents? The walls themselves? 6 months ago, Cole was a sweet, if slightly anxious veterinarian who hated being away from me for more than a few hours. Then the accident happened. The crash that shattered his skull against the windshield. Surgery saved him, but something broke behind his eyes. I swallow the rising dread in my throat. "Cole, where are you?" My voice reverberates off the walls, mocking my own desperation. The only response is static and another faint, disembodied whisper. "You're safe now." Not long ago, my husband was a gentle soul, gluing bird wings back together, figuratively speaking, at the clinic whenever an injured hawk or pigeon was brought in. He was that veterinarian, the one who cared for animals even if their owners didn't have money. Then the car accident stole the light from his eyes. He came home from the hospital with a shaved scalp covered in stitches, staring at me like a wounded animal that couldn't decide whether to flee or bite. He told me the headaches were a thunderstorm in his brain, that he had trouble focusing or sleeping. I begged him to see a therapist, but he insisted he was fine. Stepping into the kitchen now, the air is suffocatingly still. Our knives are missing from the counter block. A red laser sensor lines the sliding door, the kind you see in high-security labs. "He had time to do all this?" I mutter, rummaging through drawers. Each drawer is empty, meticulously cleared out. No forks, no spatulas, no phone chargers. It's like he sterilized the place. "Cole, you're scaring me," I call out, trying to keep my voice steady. From the vent above the stove, his voice crackles again. "I'm not trying to scare you. I'm here to protect you from everything and from yourself." My knees buckle slightly at how calm he sounds. "Protect me from what?" I shout. No direct answer, just static. Then, "This world is full of threats you can't see. Don't worry, I'll handle them. Memories of the past few months flood my mind. The day he came home and locked all the windows, claiming burglars had scoped out the house. The night I caught him pacing, whispering about men in black suits that he saw parked at the end of the street. I wrote it off as paranoia from the trauma. I told myself he'd improve, but clearly, he's deteriorated. A crash from upstairs jerks me out of my spiral. My breath catches in my throat. Without thinking, I sprint up, heart thudding like a war drum. Each step feels heavier than the last, as if the entire house is leaning in on me. "Cole!" I call again. My voice bounces off the walls, and I sense eyes on me from every camera. I reach the guest bedroom and find the door locked. Another clang inside, glass shattering. I curl my fingers around the doorknob and twist. Locked. Furious, I ram my shoulder against it until it flings open. The bedroom is empty, but the window is wide open, the breeze carrying the faint smell of sweat and stale air. The screen is cut out. On the floor is a shattered mirror, shards glinting like jagged teeth. Did he escape? Or is this another trap? I step closer to the open window, trying not to slice my feet. "Cole, come on. Talk to me in person." My voice trembles against my will. From behind me, I hear the door slam shut. I whirl around. The door is closed again, but no one's there. My heart thrums so loudly it feels like a ticking bomb in my chest. Suddenly, I notice a small red light near the ceiling. Another camera, repositioned to face the window. My mouth goes dry. He's watching. "Cole!" I yell at the unblinking camera. "Stop hiding!" I want to lash out, smash the lens. But then what? That might piss him off. Instead, I blow out a shaky breath, letting sarcasm slip past my lips. "Wow, babe, I'm really impressed by your home makeover. Love the psychopath chic vibe." Silence. Or maybe I hear a faint exhalation of static. It's impossible to tell if it's him or just the breeze. I crouch to examine the broken mirror pieces. There's a dark stain along the edges. Blood? My chest constricts. I recall how he used to cringe at the sight of his own blood when he accidentally sliced himself preparing dinner. Now he's fearless enough to break windows, cut screens, rearrange the entire house. I have to get out. Not just out of this room, but out of this impossible labyrinth he's created. There has to be a key, a code, or something. If he installed these locks, he must have a master control system. I think of his office, really just a spare room where he used to keep patient records. He was that kind of vet, always bringing work home. Ever since the accident, he spent hours in there, rummaging through notes, tinkering with electronics, scribbling diagrams I couldn't decipher. Maybe I'll find answers there. I edge toward the door, my skin still crawling from the sense of being watched. I half expect him to appear behind me, but the hall stays empty, cameras blinking like mechanical sentries. Down the corridor, a speaker crackles. Then his voice. "You're heading in the right direction, Marianne." The hair on my arm stands up. So he's guiding me now? My heart is a clenched fist, but I keep moving, adrenaline roaring in my veins. Each step feels like a test of nerve. As I open the office door, a wave of claustrophobia nearly topples me. The blinds are drawn, and multiple monitors line a makeshift desk. Wires snake across the floor, connecting cameras, mics, and lock interfaces. A tangle of documents, medical forms, and schematics spills over the desk. In the middle sits my wedding photo, our smiling faces from a happier time. Something in my gut twists with longing and dread. Then a beep. The monitors switch on, revealing live feeds from every room. I see the living room, the kitchen, the stairs, a feed of me from behind, standing in the office. I turn and spot the camera perched by the doorway. Cole's voice resonates from the screen's speakers, You'll understand soon. I tear through the documents, my vision blurring with panic. My own name surfaces on a few pages, but mostly it's Cole's. A thick stack of medical transcripts, receipts for neurological treatments, hospital discharge papers. The writing is scrawled with frantic notes. Paranoia or real threat. Overstimulation therapy. No more pills. One file stands out. Harper Institute of Neurological Rehabilitation. I've never heard of it. The intake form mentions an experimental procedure for post-traumatic stress following severe head injury. My stomach churns when I see how many times Cole visited, always alone. A piece of lined paper flutters onto the floor, covered in small, neat pen strokes. Protect Marianne at all costs. She trusts too easily. Potential infiltration from neighbors, colleagues, solution. Secure perimeter, restrict external contact, monitor 24/7. My blood runs cold. He planned this. I flip through more pages, scanning paragraphs about cognitive reconditioning. Words like obsessive anchor, compulsive protective drive, detachment from prior moral constraints jump out at me. My mind unravels. These doctors, did they cause this hypervigilance? Did they push him past some mental boundary? Or is this a side effect of the trauma itself? A metallic tap resonates behind me. I spin, half expecting Cole. Instead, a tall silhouette flashes on the hallway monitor. Cole, still obscured by dim lighting, is heading down the stairs. I grit my teeth. He's messing with me. I gather the files, hugging them to my chest. They might be my only leverage. If I can show him what these treatments did to his mind, maybe he'll snap out of it. Or at least hesitate long enough for me to escape. Dash to the door, flicking the lock open. The hallway stands empty except for the ever-watchful cameras. Down the stairs, the footsteps recede into silence. I can't call the cops. My phone is dead, and I suspect the landlines are cut, if they even exist in this day and age. I have to confront him. If he truly believes he's doing this to protect me, maybe there's a small sliver of reason I can exploit. I steel myself, stepping onto the top stair. Cole, I know about the Harper Institute, I say, my voice echoing. We can fix this. We can... A sudden flicker. The overhead light surges to life, strobing for a second, then plunges the house back into darkness. My heart slams in my ribcage. His whisper threads through the silence. It's already too late. Lightning flashes outside. Where is this storm coming from? Giving me a split-second glimpse of the living room below. The flashes illuminate something that wasn't there before. A row of crude spikes hammered along the base of the front door. My stomach clenches. He doesn't want me leaving. I slip down the stairs, pressing myself against the wall to avoid the cameras. If he can see me, he knows I have the files. Possibly he doesn't care. Or maybe it's all part of his elaborate, scheme. Another flash of lightning. I see that the furniture's been rearranged into a barricade around the living room. Shelves block the windows, the couch is turned on its side, and metal rods jam the back door. There's only one open gap, leading toward the hallway that goes to the basement. My eyes flick to the basement door. It's ajar, faint light spilling out. I clench the stack of documents in one arm and edge forward. Could he be down there? Cole hates basements. Always said the musty air made him feel trapped. Yet now, the door invites me in like a glowing maw. I creep down the steps, each one creaking. I half expect him to leap out from behind the washer and dryer, but there's only a single buzzing fluorescent light overhead. Shelves of old holiday decorations line the walls, half-burnt candles and dusty boxes. No sign of Cole. Then my eye catches a glint of metal on the far table. A small device with wires leading to a cluster of batteries. A control panel? I inch closer. The device has toggles labeled locks, security, lights. This must be how he's controlling everything upstairs. A mixture of relief and terror surges through me. If I can deactivate the system, I can run. Just as I reach for the lock switch, I hear a faint beep. A monitor behind the device lights up, showing a camera feed right behind me, aimed at the basement door. My reflection is in it. Cole's voice emerges from hidden speakers. "Step away from that, Marianne." I freeze, heart pounding. Then, with a trembling hand, I grab the stack of papers from the Harper Institute and hold them up to the camera. "Cole," I say, my throat tight, "you're not well. This place, these treatments, look what they've done. You're imagining threats that aren't real. Please, let's get help." Static crackles, then his soft laugh. "You think you can fix me like an animal with a broken leg? I'm doing this because I am well, Marianne." His voice goes cold. "You're the one who's in danger, not from me, from everything else out there. I can't let you leave." Tears sting my eyes. "Cole, we can do this together." I insist, voice wavering between anger and desperation. Suddenly, the beep intensifies. The control panel sparks. I yank my hand back as a surge of electricity dances across the circuit board, frying the toggles. A final crackle from the speakers. "Now you can't touch it." The device smokes. My escape plan literally melting before my eyes. My fury spikes, and I slam the table with my fist. "Damn it, Cole!" Through the basement walls, I hear muffled footsteps overhead. He's moving again. I clutch the documents, my lifeline, and ascend the stairs, determined to find him face to face. No more. Hide and seek. I emerge into the living room, greeted by flickering light from the single lamp. The row of spikes by the front door glints ominously. As I glance around, I realize the cameras are now pivoted in unison toward me. They follow my every move like robotic eyes. A surge of claustrophobia hits. I weigh my options. Smash a window. Risk impaling myself on those rods he probably placed outside as well. Try to find some other tool to pry the new locks open. Confront him. Confrontation is a terrible gamble, but I'm low on choices. A flash of movement draws my attention to the hallway connecting the bedrooms. I see Cole's silhouette, half lit by the lamp. He stands there, sweat-drenched t-shirt clinging to his wiry frame, eyes glassy in the dim light. Cole. My throat constricts. "Please, just look at me." He steps closer. I can barely stand the way he stares, like he loves me and fears, me all at once. His face is gaunt, all angles and shadows. That scar where his head hit the windshield is bright pink in the lamp's glow. "Marianne." He trails off. His voice is dangerously gentle. "I've protected you so far, haven't I? No one's broken in. No one's harmed you. You're alive because of me." I clutch the papers, gesturing with them. This is not protection. This is captivity. I point at the mention of compulsive, protective drive. "These doctors reprogrammed you. You're not the same man who loved me." He lunges, tearing the file from my hands. The paper scatters across the living room like dead leaves. My heart leaps into my throat as I jerk backward, nearly tripping over a toppled chair. "You think this is their fault?" He laughs, hollow. "Maybe it woke something in me, but it was always there. I love you more than anything. I can't risk losing you to the dangerous world we live in." My anger boils over. "Are you hearing yourself? You're the biggest danger here. You've rigged our home with spikes and locks like I'm your prisoner." He blinks rapidly, as if that last word stings. I see a flicker of guilt in his eyes, but in a second, it's gone, replaced by steely resolve. "You're safer with me than out there, among strangers and criminals. You'll learn that soon." His gaze shifts to the scattered papers. He notices a particular document, stoops to pick it up. Rage twists his features. They said I might show signs of mania, but I'm functioning just fine. I see threats clearly. You don't. I won't let them or you sabotage this. My pulse rockets. His fists clench around the paper, crumpling it. Cole, you're scaring me, I rasp, voice trembling with raw honesty. His eyes flicker with indecision, but he stands firm. Trust me, or don't. Either way, you're staying put. I watch him back away toward the kitchen, documents scattered around him like confetti from a nightmarish party. My eyes dart to the nearest exit, still barricaded. I lunge for a broken chair leg to use as a weapon if he tries anything more. He tilts his head at my improvised club. Seriously, he murmurs, sounding almost wounded. I wouldn't hurt you. I bark a desperate laugh, tears burning the corners of my eyes. You've practically turned this into a war zone. How am I supposed to believe you? Lightning arcs outside, and the living room lamp fizzles. Darkness envelops us, leaving only streaks of moonlight through the cracks in the barricaded windows. Cole's silhouette lurches forward. I swing the chair leg, but he catches my wrist. Pain radiates through my arm. Stop it, I hiss, dropping the weapon. He grips me by the shoulders, but not with tenderness. There's a trembling urgency to it. Marianne, calm down, he says, breath hot against my face. All I do is for you. For us. My breath falters. I can smell stale sweat and the copper tang of blood. Then my frustration boils over. I can't just surrender to his delusion. I shove him off, slamming my elbow into his ribs. He grunts, staggering back. I scramble into the hallway, nearly tripping over the flickering extension cord. Damn you! He yells, voice echoing. I fumble for a door, any door, maybe the garage, but the handle is jammed. I yank it until it cracks from the frame. Inside, the garage is pitch black. My eyes adjust slowly, revealing Cole's car, tires deflated, hood dented. Did he do that to stop me from escaping by vehicle? This is madness. A savage cry from behind me. Cole lunges, slamming the garage door behind him. He's panting, an unhinged glint in his eyes. Before I can run, he hits the switch on the wall. The overhead lights blare, revealing a nightmarish scene. The car interior is gutted, seats torn. On the hood, he's welded spiked bars, like a ramshackle contraption. A blueprint is taped to the side, full of scribbles about an impregnable fortress on wheels. Horror tangles in my gut. This is beyond normal obsession. I realize that if I don't fight back with everything I have, I won't leave this house alive or sane. He steps toward me, rummaging in his pocket. Something metallic glints in his hand. A small tool? Or a blade? My heart thrashes. I won't let you destroy our sanctuary, he hisses. We need this, Marianne. We need each other. My thoughts blur as adrenaline floods me. I glance around for anything to defend myself. I spot a heavy tire iron leaning against the tool bench. I seize it, leveling it between us. Cole, move, I warn, chest heaving. My voice is raspier than I've ever heard it. He brandishes the metallic object in his hand. Some sort of homemade electric prod, wire coiled around a battery pack. His eyes are hollow, consumed by conviction. For a split second, I see the man I married behind those eyes, the quiet, caring animal lover who used to leave flowers on my desk. Then he lunges, driving the makeshift prod toward me. Sparks dance off the tip. I swing the tire iron reflexively. The metal clang resonates through the garage. His weapon goes flying out of his grip, skittering across the cement. He staggers, expression shocked. Marianne. He starts, but I raise the iron again. My heart thunderclaps in my ears, tears streaming down my face. This is not how marriage is supposed to end, but I have no choice. Desperate, I swing again. He tries to dodge, but it catches his shoulder. He screams, crumpling to a knee, clutching his arm. I freeze, panting, tears blurring my vision. The overhead, light flickers. Sparks crackle on the ground from his fallen device, casting eerie shadows. I can't believe I've hurt him. He looks up at me, voice trembling. I did this for you. My voice breaks. You destroyed us for me. He tries to stand but collapses, wincing. I realize I may not get a better chance. I dash past him, flinging the garage door open. The entire house is still sealed up like a fortress. But maybe, just maybe, I can break through the front door or a window if I hurry. I sprint into the living room, gripping the tire iron. The spikes at the door look menacing, but the wood around them might be weaker. I smash the tire iron into the door frame. Splinters fly. Come on, I rasp through clenched teeth. Another blow, and a portion of the frame cracks. Footsteps behind me. Cole's voice ragged. Marianne, don't do this. I ignore him and swing again. The door buckles, revealing the faint glow of streetlights outside. Another swing. Finally, the door gives, crashing outward in a shower of broken wood and twisted metal. Fresh air hits my face like an electric jolt of freedom. I stumble onto the porch, barely registering the nails and spikes littering the threshold. My foot catches, and I almost tumble headlong down the steps. Cole appears in the broken doorway, face contorted with pain and fury, blood dripping from his shoulder. Marianne! He roars, lunging for me. I scramble backward, nearly sliding down the wet porch. The storm intensifies, thunder rumbling overhead. Gripping the tire iron, I hold it out in defense. He hesitates, chest heaving, eyes flicking from the busted door to me. A flash of lightning reveals the utter devastation in his expression. I step off the porch, the cold rain drenching me. My entire body shakes from fear, heartbreak, and the shock of violence. I take another step back, tears mixing with the downpour. Cole stands in the threshold, refusing to cross into the storm. His shoulders tremble, and for a moment I swear he looks like he might beg me to stay. Then the expression twists into something heartbreakingly resigned. Go, he says softly, voice cracking. If you leave, don't ever come back. I won't let you. A sob rips from my throat. I want to scream at him, to break him out of this nightmare, but my survival instinct overrides everything else. I'm sorry, I whisper, turning to run. The last thing I hear is his anguished, guttural scream as he disappears behind the wreckage of the front door. The boundary that once held us together is shattered. I don't look back as I sprint down the dark suburban street. I expect neighbors to rush out, but every house is silent, windows dim, like they can't or won't see the horror unraveling at the Price residence. My bare feet pound the pavement, rain pelting my face, the entire world spinning in slow motion. Hours later, I'm in a hospital corridor, bruised, dripping wet, explaining the unexplainable to a skeptical nurse. My husband, My voice is shot, trembling with exhaustion. She frowns, glancing at my injuries. We'll call the authorities. I collapse into a chair, adrenaline finally fading. A memory surfaces. Cole's labored breathing after the accident, how I nursed him back to health, brushing his hair aside to place gentle kisses on his bandages. Now, I can't fathom the monster he became, or the monster that rose from his shattered mind. Police lights flash outside. One officer steps in, notepad ready. Ma'am, can you give me your statement? I close my eyes, tears hot on my cheeks. Yes, I manage, but you might not believe me. In that moment, I realize I still have the hospital papers from the Harper Institute stuffed in my waistband. proof of the experimental therapy that twisted Cole's protective instincts into a lethal obsession. As I hand them over, a single line stands out. Subject exhibits unwavering compulsion to protect the anchor at all costs. My blood runs cold. All costs. That phrase echoes in my mind. This entire night was just the first manifestation of a twisted new reality, and a final, gut-wrenching truth hits me. If Cole survived my escape, he'll consider me an even bigger target for protection. He might come for me again, because, in his eyes, I belong locked away from the world. And somehow that is the most terrifying thought of all.